Hi friends, I'm Gio, and get your silver ready. It's time for another story about the moon cursed, the werewolves. I write gay fiction for fun, and I share it on my channel. This story is called Don't Make a Noise, and takes place immediately after the story Little Lost Wolf. I'd recommend you start with that story before listening to this one. The short synopsis. Landon Knox has been hiding from the hunters that killed his family 10 years ago. It's a full moon tonight, and he ran to the only place to keep people safe from him, the remains of the zoo at the abandoned Merriweather amusement park. The hunters found him. Let's get started. "I won't let you kill me, Compton," I growled. Though groggy from last night's full moon, the adrenaline had started pumping. My clothes and pack sat neatly folded on a chair in front of me. Compton sat next to them. He'd been looking through my sketchbook, and when he put it away, it revealed the switchblade in his hand. We were in the small zoo in the long-abandoned Merriweather amusement park, a place I knew well, because this was the place my dad had hid me before the hunters killed him. I had come here every full moon since my voice changed, to lock myself up. Teens go through changes as they pass through puberty. Not many teens include changing into a werewolf, along with their zits and raging hormones. Above me was daylight. The roof had partially collapsed years ago, and left a hole big enough for a human to fit through. It was only 20 feet above me. Except, I'm not human. I'm one of the moon-cursed. I'm Landon Steele. It used to be Knox, before the hunters had tracked down my family 10 years ago and killed them. I'm a werewolf hiding among humans, and if I wasn't very careful and very fast, I'd be dead in the next minute. Normal weapons can kill me when I'm in human form. Only silver and fire can hurt me when I'm in wolf form. If I hadn't needed to be in a cage all night, I would have kept running. A little thing called the full moon slowed me down. A werewolf turns into a raging monster on the full moon. I had another problem. A hunter had found me. "Landon, get dressed," Compton ordered, flicking the switchblade in and out, in and out, in and out. A big man with black hair, dressed in a black t-shirt and worn black jeans. He smelled of motorcycle exhaust and beef jerky. The piece of jerky he had tossed at me lay on the floor. He'd probably laced it with wolfsbane and thought I would be stupid enough to eat it. Wolfsbane is a deadly poison, especially to wolves. Compton wasn't the only hunter after me. Father Leto was also. He was a man in his late 50s, I guessed, who wore a priest's collar and held a strange rosary that made me shiver. 3 others worked with him, including a nun. My heart beat at a terrifying speed. I had to escape Compton and get out of the zoo before the other hunters showed up. There was just one little complication. I had just barely changed to human. My clothes were neatly folded on the chair next to my pack with my wallet, my ID, my bus pass, my emergency cash, and even some emergency protein bars. I had to have them if I was going to survive. I lifted my shoulder, preparing to lunge. The wound on my left ribs burned, a large, infected, painful pus bump the size of a quarter was proof the hunters wanted me dead. That's where the silver-tipped crossbow bolt had hit me. Since I still lived, it hadn't been laced with wolfsbane. Since the wound hadn't healed, some silver must be stuck in it. Compton stared at me, chewing on his jerky, waiting for me to make the first move. His dark eyes narrowed and his mouth flattened. "Landon, you're safe." Compton must be an idiot if he thought I would believe him. Dried blood stained my skin, making a long series of reddish-brown stripes from where I had bled from the wound. Tonight was day 2 of the full moon. Humans call my kind monsters. I'm about to prove them right. A wolf has claws. One of my family's gifts. I can use them when human. I unsheathed mine, growled, and crouched. I had to time this very carefully. Compton's head lowered a fraction, and his face hardened. Good. The stupid hunter wasn't expecting the claws. Landon, trust me, I'm on your side, Compton said. He took another bite of jerky and flicked the switchblade again. The knife popped out, then in, then out, then in. I had to stay calm. If I panicked, this man would kill me. I shivered, and not because of the cool air. I needed to time my escape perfectly. Some conversation would put Compton off his guard. The traitor said those exact words, and then he killed my tribe and my family 10 years ago. Leto said that and killed my boyfriend 4 years ago. And now you're saying that and you're holding a knife. Notice a pattern? I said, hoping this man didn't see how scared I was. I had to wait for the right moment, and then I would get out of here. Traitor? What traitor? Compton sat back. A confused look came across his eyes. You're a self-righteous murderer like every other hunter. How many wolves have you killed with that knife? I growled. Compton glanced at the knife. Now was the time to act, or I'd be dead. I moved fast, faster than humans could react to. Grabbing my clothes and pack, I jumped to the hole in the ceiling. Compton moved fast as well. Lunging forward, he grabbed my ankle and threw me to the ground. Damn it, Landon, I'm on your side. Liar. I fell and slashed at him with my left hand. My clothes and pack dropped. I struck again, this time drawing blood as I left 4 long cuts on his face, slicing the soft skin under his eye. Damn you, Landon, he yelled, let go of me and fell back, his hands covering his face. I landed on my feet, picked up my clothes and gear. Years' worth of helpless anger exploded out of me. Were you with Leto when he righteously exterminated my family? Humans are the monsters. You are the monster. I could kill you right now and nobody would find your body for months. But I have something you will never have. A soul. I've never killed anyone. How many of my kind have you killed? Your hands are filthy with the blood of the innocents. My sketchbook was on the floor with Compton's blood on it, the switchblade next to it. Getting either would take precious seconds I didn't have. They stayed behind. Compton bent over double, holding his face, and screamed, Landon. I stood over Compton and said, Give your drinking buddy, Leto, a message. Watch his back, because someday, when he least expects it, I'll avenge the man I loved, and my family, and my tribe. You don't understand, Compton screamed. That's where you're wrong. If I ever see you again, I won't be so nice, I screamed. I ran, pushing through the door, and sprinted. I needed time to think, to get dressed, to plan my escape. Landon, Compton screamed somewhere behind me. If one hunter had found me, so could Father Leto and his friends. Unless Compton and Leto were working together, then Father Leto could already be here. I had to get out of the amusement park. The hunters probably watched all the gates, and they probably knew about the hole in the chain-link fence. If I was careful, I could jump and climb over the 8-foot chain-link fence. I paused by the old Ferris wheel to dress. This was my first hiding place 10 years ago. It was called Steel Dreams. That's where I had gotten the name I had used for the last few years. A big attraction. It had 40 cars people could ride in. Years ago, it was painted a futuristic metallic silver and metallic blue. Now it was rust and peeling paint and would never rotate again. The pus-filled wound from the crossbow bolt had reopened and bled. It soaked my shirt, and the fabric had a hole where the crossbow had penetrated. My shirt was crusty and stiff with dried blood and stained crimson with fresh blood. There was silver in the wound, and I had to get it out before it killed me. I had to get out of the park before the hunters killed me. But first, an important stop. I was afraid this day would come, but I had prepared. I had stashed an extra backpack in the topmost car of the Ferris wheel. With the ladders broken, nobody but a wolf could get there. I dressed, climbed up the Ferris wheel as far as I could, and then jumped to catch the broken ladder. My left arm was weaker than the right. The silver poison was spreading. My emergency backpack with water bottles, protein bars, and extra cash was still here. "Damn you, Landon," Compton's voice yelled from the direction of the old zoo. "Don't run. I'm your friend." Leto had said the same thing yesterday. He tried to lure me with my father's ring so I'd get close enough so he could kill me. A deep sadness filled me. Compton's comment made me mourn my friends, especially my boyfriend, the man the hunters had killed. I didn't dare make friends because the hunters could kill them or use them to trap me. I paused and looked out at the world from the topmost car. The ache of the old loneliness hinted at returning. The last friend I had known was named Wesley. That was 12 years ago. He's probably dead now. I could be the last of my kind. Compton, like Leto, was a hunter and a tracker. Compton had found me last night. He even did it before Leto did. I guess Compton was better than Leto. Compton didn't kill me. That made sense. Why waste a silver bullet when all he had to do was wait until I was human and a knife would do it? Nobody came to this park, so my body would rot until I was unrecognizable. The police would assume I was a victim of a drug deal gone bad. I grew angry and afraid. Compton had made a mistake. He should have killed me the second I transformed to human. He had waited too long. I had to get out of here. I had the advantage because I could hear better than the hunters, and I now knew what they smelled like. I climbed down from Steel Dreams, favoring my injured side, and bid the ride a silent farewell. I wouldn't be back here again. I needed a place with lots of people to hide in to make it difficult for anyone to track me. I'd never been to Vegas. Maybe I should try my luck out west. I only regretted one thing. In another year, I'd have finished my Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree. The Ferris wheel should be called Stolen Dreams. There was a scent on the morning breeze, faint, so it wasn't close. Sweat, gunpowder, whiskey, pig urine. According to the old wives' tales, pig urine supposedly hid one scent from the moon-cursed, meaning werewolves. These hunters still practiced the old, useless ways. My parents would have laughed at them. Only one hunter tonight had smelled of whiskey. Father Leto had arrived. There came a faint clink out at the parking lot. Bolt cutters? The sound of a car engine turning over. The crunch of gravel and broken asphalt as the car drove over it. It had to be the main parking lot. Had Leto just come through the main gate? I can't go back that way. I kept to the shadows and ran away from Compton's beef jerky and motorcycle exhaust smell, and away from Father Leto's whiskey and pig urine smell. I took the back alley behind what had been the fairway. Decades back, it had been lined with ice cream booths and churro booths and balloon stands and souvenir stands. Those had rotted with time. Another scent tainted the air. Soap, perfume, pig urine. The nun, a hunter who worked with Leto. If the nun was in this direction, then Father Leto had flushed me in this direction. There had been another hunter, the one who shot me yesterday with the crossbow. I didn't smell him. Leto had spoken to yet another hunter on the phone. Lawrence. Leto, the nun, the man that shot me, the man on the phone, and Compton. A team of 5 hunters. They weren't taking any chances with me. I'd be dead if I didn't escape. I should never have entered the art show. It had attracted attention, all right. I was famous, but the wrong kind of famous. If I wasn't very careful, it would be the dead kind of famous. Landon, the nun gently said, come with us. You're a kind person, and I know you will do what's right. We can keep you from hurting anyone. A slight tinkle, a faint smell of gunpowder. She must be holding her rosary in one hand and a gun in the other. Did she know where I was, or was she acting as a distraction? Compton had tracked me here. Father Leto drove me this direction. The nun was the distraction. It was a good plan. That left 2 other hunters. The last thing my father had said to me, sound will kill you. I made no sound as I crept past the nun. She didn't notice me. One of the other hunters must be nearby, possibly laying in wait. What could hide his smell so well that I couldn't detect it? If he was underwater, I would not be able to detect his scent. Or if he was hidden in a dumpster, the garbage would mask his scent. Or maybe he's downwind. That would make it difficult to smell him. Or what if he was so far away I couldn't smell him? One of the hunters must be a sniper. These hunters were serious about killing me. What was the best place for a sniper? He'd need altitude. Steel Dreams was tall, but it might not be tall enough. The roller coaster had a section that was 7 stories tall, but it didn't have a clear vantage over this part of the park. The gravity drop ride in the middle of the park did. A very tall ride that shot a person into the sky and let them fall back to earth. The top was a relatively flat surface, 20 feet square, the hunter could use to survey the entire park, plan his shot, and I'd never see it coming. Escaping just got harder. Landon, we know you don't want to hurt people. That's why you've locked yourself up, the nun said, facing in the wrong direction. Come with us. You can trust me. We won't let you hurt anyone. Trust? Father Leto and his people had killed my tribe, my parents, and my boyfriend. I wouldn't trust any of them. A part of me got cold and angry, and my mouth went dry. I'd never been this scared in my life. How can I get out of here? How can I escape these monsters that think they're human? Brother Gustavo, I don't think he's here, she said to her wrist. I saw movement not far from you, a voice said through her earpiece. I had one advantage. These hunters had no idea I could hear every word they said, even with something as faint as their earpieces. I'm picking up some police chatter, a second voice said. What kind, Brother Lawrence? A deeper voice said. Father Leto. Too many people saw Landon bleeding all over the place and reported it. Police are looking for him, Brother Lawrence said. We need to get this done quickly, Father Leto said. The beast is in your direction, Sister Adrian. Move it, people. We are on the clock. That's impossible. I was very quiet and hadn't made a sound. How did he know where I was? Unless I was very careful, they would find me. Taking a slightly different route, I circled around the pavilion of the carousel. An old antique with 3 layers of unmoving animals, broken mirrors, broken lights, and tattered rags for a roof. A faded sign above said, "Renaissance of Dreams." I stayed in the shadows, circled around until I found a place I could sneak on the carousel, and let me look at the gravity drop. My eyes weren't as sensitive as my hearing or my sense of smell, but were still better than the human monsters. Thank you, full moon. A tiny lump moved on top of the gravity drop. A glitter of light. I focused my hearing on him. A soft click. An odd hiss. Something metallic slid. "I've got eyes on it," a man whispered. "The beast is on the carousel." A small ping. A sniper with a silencer. Shit, I dove. The wooden giraffe behind me splintered. "Surround the carousel. I'll keep him pinned," the sniper whispered. The sniper was good. I ran. A second shot. The wooden floor at my feet chipped and exploded. "The kid is fast," I heard through Adrian's earpiece. "It's not a person, but a beast," Leto said. I ducked behind a concrete planter and crawled my way until I was out of sight. "Landon, your art is beautiful," the nun said. "You have a very sensitive touch and a great eye for detail. Come to us. Let us help you. You don't want to hurt anyone." I stayed quiet. "Sister Adrian, he's a little to your left," Leto said. "Understood. Landon, you have a gentle soul. Let us help you," Adrian said. I had to stay quiet. "If you make a noise, they will kill you," was the last thing my dad had said. I crawled as fast as I could, never risking standing, and I didn't make a noise. The motion made the wound ache. It dribbled a little blood onto the faded asphalt. A second blood drop splattered on the ground. My ribs ached. The silver poison kept me from healing, and my wound hurt more. I lifted my shirt to look at the blood leaking from the pus-filled wound. Tiny silver lines radiated from the giant pus bump, spreading along my nerves in organic patterns. I was silver poisoned. I had to get out of here and find a way to dig the silver out before it killed me. How many shots did a sniper rifle hold? 2? Was it modified to carry more? How had they found me? Soft footsteps approached. The person smelled of perfume, gunpowder, and pig urine, and a tiny bit of fear. Sister Adrian had arrived. "Landon," she said, "you don't want to hurt anybody." My heart beat fast. My palms sweated. My throat went dry. How can I escape? "Sister Adrian," Father said through her calm, "you gave the beast its chance. It's my turn now. I'm willing to bet Landon can hear both of us. Run, monster, because when I catch you, you'll join your parents. Would you like me to tell you exactly where you are?" "Brother Gustavo, the monster is at my 10 o'clock. Pin the beast down." "With pleasure," said a voice through the comm. The sniper fired. The bullet whistled through the air and struck the ground behind me. Concrete slivers sprayed in all directions. A second shot, but it was closer. I broke cover and ran as fast as I could. "Fenrir, smile on me," I whispered. My mother's favorite prayer. Fenrir was one of the old gods, a giant god-wolf, and son of Loki, the trickster. The old tales prophesied that one day he would destroy the world. Dodging back and forth, I stayed close to any cover. A third bullet hit the wall I ran behind. "Do you know why we hate you, Landon?" Father Leto whispered so low that only I could hear him. "Your mother crippled Brother Lawrence before she died, and killed a friend, all so her monstrous whelp could escape. You don't deserve to live. You're the last of the Knox line. It will be a pleasure killing you." I ran down an alley. Bad decision. A stone wall blocked the end. I ran at it, unsheathed my claws, and jumped as high as I could. Sinking my claws in the mortar, I crawled my way to the top. The air smelled of whiskey and pig urine. Father Leto was close. I risked a glance behind me. Father Leto stood at the end of the alley, his odd rosary swinging directly at me. His other hand held a gun with a silencer. Something whizzed in the air. I let go of the wall. A bullet hit where I had been. "I hope you rot in hell," I yelled. "You first," Leto said, and smiled an evil smile. He fired. I ducked and ran straight at him, claws outstretched. The adrenaline pumped throughout my body, and I ran low. Father Leto took aim. I raised my hands to protect my head and sprinted as fast as I could. "Fenrir, help me." "A pagan god can't help you," Father Leto smirked. An explosion came from the parking lot. A plume of black smoke burst into the air. Then another explosion, even bigger than the first, split the air like thunder. Then came what sounded like firecrackers, hundreds of them popping, one after another. "What's going on?" Father Leto said, glancing at the sky a moment. I swiped at his gun, my claws ripping it from his hand, and I left long cuts. He wouldn't use that hand for a while. Father Leto drew back his other hand, the one with the rosary, and reached for a sheathed knife. An odd rosary. It had a carved wolf's head made out of bone, and some of the wooden beads smelled of old blood. Something about it made my stomach crawl. I clawed that hand too, ripping the rosary to shreds, beads flung in all directions. I grabbed the wolf's head and ran past the hunter. Father Leto pulled his bleeding hands back and stepped away from me. Another bullet hit the ground, and another. The sniper was still shooting at me. Another explosion, and more popping came from the parking lot. A lot of pops went up all at once. "Father Leto, the police are alerted to your presence," said a voice in Leto's earpiece. "Forget Landon. The authorities are arriving now with SWAT and a dozen cars. Get out of there." "That won't be possible. That's our car exploding in the parking lot," Gustavo said. "Somebody must have called the police," Sister Adrian said. "What do we do?" "I can't get off this tower fast enough," Brother Gustavo said. "You two, run." "I've picked up another call. The fire department is on the way, and police are surrounding the park," Brother Lawrence said. I ran, dodging left and right. "I don't know how you plan this, Landon, but I'll see the earth rid of you and your kind," Father Leto said, picking up his gun with his injured hand. "You can't hide from me." I normally don't tire, but I was tired now. The silver in my side was slowing me down. I ran, holding my side and the two backpacks. The police were here. If they found me, there would be too many questions. If Leto found me, I'd be dead. Compton was out there hunting me too. Tonight was the second night of the full moon, and I would change into the monster they thought I was. I no longer had a safe space. I'd go berserk tonight, and I wouldn't have a cage to keep everybody safe from me. A bullet whizzed past my cheek. Shit, Father Leto was still after me. There was no other choice. I ran down the fairway towards the entrance, towards the police, towards an uncertain safety. The light of the burning car was visible even in the dawn. The smoke stained the air, and red and blue lights lit up the parking lot. I had to make it to them before Leto shot me. I smelled whiskey and pig urine. Leto was chasing me. The police had come through the main gate, guns drawn. I ran towards them, but the silver poison tired me even more, and I leaned on a wall. Leto was close. What do I do? "Help!" I yelled. Down on the ground, one of the police yelled and aimed his gun at me. They must not have heard me. I screamed, "Help! They're after me!" "Get down on the ground or we'll shoot," an officer yelled. "Help me!" Couldn't they hear me? I screamed and staggered to them, Please. A gun fired. Something ripped into me right below my shoulder and out through my chest and narrowly missed a police officer. The shot came from behind me. Leto got his target. Me. I stopped, my hand feeling the hot blood leaking from the new wound. "Help me," I said weakly, and sank to my knees. "Please." Several officers fired. None of their shots hit me, but they all hit their target. Leto grunted and fell. It was about 6 hours later, and I was lying in a hospital bed. I had had localized surgery this morning that removed the silver, and my ability to heal had kicked in again. The doctor said that Leto's last bullet had been a through and through and had caused little damage. I'd heard the officer guarding my room speaking with somebody else, that Leto was felled by 8 bullets. My wounds began to heal, and I'd be fine within a week, and wouldn't even have a scar. Leto's body was carted off to the morgue in the hospital basement. Maybe I would know some peace, and my boyfriend and parents could rest in peace. Sister Adrian and brother Gustavo were picked up by the police. Did I hide anything about Leto killing my parents? Only the werewolf part. I heard the detective talking. They thought Leto was a hired assassin for the mob or something. The humans could believe whatever they wanted. Just let me escape. The door to my hospital room opened, and a dark-haired man smelling of motorcycle exhaust and beef jerky walked in. Compton. He was carrying a bouquet of gift shop flowers. I unsheathed my claws and rolled off the bed. The hospital room was only on the 2nd floor. I could break through the window and jump down. "Don't scream," he said, and displayed empty hands. "How did you get past the guard at my door?" I said. "I'm delivering flowers," he said, and set them on a side table, and raised his hands up so I could see they were empty. "Is your knife hidden in your pocket?" I said. "Are you here to finish what Leto couldn't?" "About the knife. You were silver poisoned. I was going to dig it out, but I had to wait until you were human," Compton said. "I'm not going to hurt you. Let me talk, and then I'll leave. I would like it if you came with me. We are old friends, after all." "You're crazy. I'm not going anywhere with you," I said. Compton sighed, pulled a small packet from his pocket, and walked over to me. "You don't remember me, do you?" "Should I?" I said. "I was hunting you, but not for the same reasons as Leto," Compton said. "This will be weird, but trust me." "I don't," I said. "I called my mom, Steph, and we spoke about the proper treatment for silver poisoning. I had to go to 3 different shops to find the right herbs, and another store to find you an obsidian stone and a fire agate," Compton said. He stood by me and lifted the hospital gown enough to reveal the bandage covering the crossbow wound. "What are you doing?" I asked. Compton placed the obsidian in my right hand and the fire agate in my left. He placed the small pack of herbs over the bandage on my ribs. He took some medical tape from his pocket and taped the small package on the bandage. "I was 13. You were 10. Your parents, as representatives of the Night Tribe, stopped by to see my parents, the leaders of the Moonfangs. They wanted to form an alliance, which my father, Edmund, agreed to. For those few days that they talked, we wandered the woods, went horseback riding, and became friends. Except for my cousin Jack, there aren't a lot of moon-cursed kids. It was nice meeting someone I didn't have to hide from." "You're Wesley?" I asked. "I go by Compton now. The obsidian is to draw out excess moon energy, and it helps keep a wolf stable. The fire agate is special. Silver poisoning is a soul poisoning, and it only affects werewolves. Fire agates burn out the poison," he said. "Since the police never found your body 10 years ago, I figured you must be alive. I've tried to figure out what happened to you ever since. Did you know they've made 3 mockumentaries about the Knox family unsolved murders? I've been searching ever since. Then I saw the article online about you and your art and had to see if it was you. I tracked you to the bookstore and discovered it was you. I didn't even recognize you in the bookstore, I said. That book I bought? We watched those movies on your last day at Wolf Hollow. I was hoping you would remember, Compton said. It's been 12 years, I said. I tracked you to the old amusement park, waited for you to change back to human, but you were so scared and events happened so fast you were gone before I could tell you who I was. That was this morning, I said. When Leto and his team arrived, I figured we needed help, and fast. I was the one who called in the police and blew up their car. Why did you help me? I asked. I don't have many friends. In fact, I think you're the only one, Compton said. Guys like us have to watch out for each other. Are you taking me back to Wolf Hollow? I asked. If you're ready, I'm simply taking you, he said, sitting on my bed, and a sad and broken smile flashed briefly across his face. Me and my father had a falling out and a bad fight, and I left. When I spoke with my mom about you, she told me I had done something pretty bad. I don't think I'll ever be welcome home. Can I ask what you did? I asked. I bit a guy named Corey, Compton said, looking away a moment. I was angry at my father that full moon. I guess some of that anger passed into the man I bit. Corey can't control the moon. I guess everybody's pretty angry with me, which is another reason I came to find you. What do you mean? I asked. Being a wolf is hard when you're alone. I'm forming my own tribe, Compton said. I could use some help. Want in? I don't know who I can trust. Leto killed my family, my tribe, and my boyfriend, I said. Give me a month to earn your trust. We've both lost our tribes, but together we could make a new family. Compton held my hand, and for a moment, pain flashed in his eyes. I can protect you, so you don't have to run anymore. Neither one of us have to be alone ever again, Compton said. I've been doing just fine for 10 years. I think you're the one that needs protecting, I said, and took my hand from his and wrapped my arm around his shoulders. I'm glad I found you, Compton said. Are you ready to sneak out of here? I know how to keep you safe tonight. Before I could answer, I tilted my head and listened to the soft noise of guards talking to each other outside my door. Wesley did as well. Benson, this is hush-hush, but I need to talk to somebody. Werner, something wrong? Everybody who knows doesn't know what to make of it. I need a drink. Bad. Stuff like this doesn't happen outside of the movies, Werner said. What happened? Benson said. You can't tell anyone. The only reason I know is because I was on break with some friends when it happened, Werner said. What happened? Benson said. You know Clausen, Werner said. She's the detective in charge of this case. She called the Vatican and learned that Leto used to be a priest, but wasn't anymore. They had excommunicated him and wanted nothing to do with him. I happened to be in the room and heard the conversation. Interesting, Benson said. They ran the dead guy's prints through the system, focusing on unsolved murders, and the kid was right. Leto's prints were found at the Knox murders 10 years ago. That kid was only 12, Werner said. Good thing Leto's dead, Benson said. An ex-priest gone homicidal and hunting the only survivor of that massacre? That man was sick, Werner said. I agree, Benson said, but something else happened, didn't it? It got weird an hour ago. Like I said, I was in the same room as Clausen when somebody ran up and said, "You've got to see this." It was a recording of the security feeds from 5 minutes earlier, Werner said. Go on, Benson said. Security cameras show that Leto's dead body was laying on one of the carts down in the hospital morgue. You got that right? He'd been dead since this morning. He shot the Knox kid, then he was shot, and he was dead, Werner said. Didn't they do the autopsy on Leto around noon? Benson asked. Leto was toe-tagged and had the autopsy X on his chest, along with his 8 bullet holes. One was in his head, and they dug that bullet out of his brain. The old man was very dead. Stone cold dead, ready to be dumped in the ground kind of dead. I need a drink. I saw the video, and they had him chilling away in the cold room while they tried to figure out next of kin and what they were going to do with Leto's 2 companions, Werner said, his voice quivering. What's so unusual about that? Benson said. Leto got tired of laying around because he got up and walked out, Werner said. Compton stared at me. I stared at him. An odd smell wafted on the air conditioning. Gunpowder, whiskey, formaldehyde, pig urine. I clutched Compton's hand with mine. This can't be. It was impossible. Compton's hand tightened around mine. A gunshot came from the hallway and hit somebody. One of the policemen, Benson, screamed. There was a new scent in the air, the metallic smell of blood. Stay tuned, friends, for the next installment of The Wolves. It's coming as soon as I figure out what to write. In the meantime, be careful on the full moon. Peace.